friends, welcome back. So glad you're here again today. If you're new to my channel, my name is Tammy Ernest and I am a long arm quilter, and so here on my channel I like to share projects that I've been working on recently in my studio, as well as client quilts that I have finished long arm quilting, and I like to show them to you so that you can see possibilities for your own quilts. And I have just 2 today before they'll be going home. And then several more next week that I've been prepping, but I wanted to catch up on some projects that I've been working on too. And so I hope your Thanksgiving was wonderful. We went to my parents' house. They live only 30 minutes away, and 3 of my sisters were there. Actually, the 4th one showed up really late in the evening just as we were preparing to leave, but her and her family had been out of town for the day and arrived shortly before we left, and so we got to visit with them as well, and so that was a lot of fun. That was Thursday. And then Saturday, because not all of our kids were able to be at Thanksgiving at my parents', then we had all of our kids over here. Well, minus 1, I take that back. 6 of the 7 were over on Saturday. We had pizza and played games as a family. We play this game called we call it Schrock Uno because it was my daughter's new husband who taught us this game, and it's in a fast version of Uno. So you play the same way, except anybody around the table can play the same card. So let's say you lay out a blue 2 or whatever. Anybody around the table, if they can very quickly lay it out, they can also lay out a blue 2. You can also stack some draw 2s, and so it's very fast-paced, a lot of fun, just a lot of fun that we had on Saturday night. So I hope you had just as much fun with your family, and that you're back into the swing of things and preparing for Christmas. We did put our Christmas decorations out around the house. We haven't quite got our tree completely up yet, but so I hope you're enjoying the start of this Christmas season. I have lots of things to share with you today. First of all, I received my Sew Sampler box in the mail on Friday, and so I have already opened it, but I'd like to go through it and show you what you could get if you were part of the Sew Sampler. This is a monthly box that comes from Fat Quarter Shop, and let's open it and see what arrived this month. So when you open the box, on the top, right on the very top, is always a card that explains the theme of the box, and this one says "Happiness Blooms Within." There's always some sort of coupon in there. So this time, inside the Fat Quarter Shop box, there's always some sort of fabric, and this time it is this is called "Forget Me Not" by Allison Harris, and this is very cute. Very summery, it looks like. I haven't pulled them apart yet, but you can see the flower. There's even a stripe in there. Oh, this one's cute. Maybe I'll just go ahead and open the package, because I just realized they have mason jars. Look at that. It's mason jars on the fabric. I love mason jars. I decorate with mason jars. I decorate with old canners. Actually, I still use canners. We still do canning around here. I live on a farm, a 27-acre hobby farm. Most of it's in woods, but we have several acres that are able to be used for farming and tilling. And so we do a big garden every year. We always can green beans and tomatoes. You like to freeze corn, not canned corn, but what else? We can pumpkin. We can spaghetti sauce. So I love to decorate with those things. And here's another flower print. So really pretty. It'd be fun to do something summery. Inside the box also, they always give you a pattern to use with the fabric that they provide. So this time it says petals. This is a table runner. Could be used for spring. They also give instructions how to add some extra yardage, and the same fat 1/8 bundle and some extra yardage, and you could actually make a crib quilt using that same pattern there. So very nice. All right, moving on. Inside the box also this time few things out. So there's also this card, and this card just walks you through everything in the box, explains it all. So this next one, let me look at this. There is a dog ear clipper tool. So what this is for is, it says saving time by cutting corners on half square triangle units with a dog ear. So the directions on the back, let me pull this out. All right, it shows the directions that you make you layer two squares, draw the line down the middle, you sew on either side, and then prior to pressing those open, it shows using this dog ear tool to clip the corners off. Let me get that right there. So to clip the corners before you press it open to save you time. It'll be interesting to try this. I tend to have to trim my entire half square triangle blocks. I make them a little bigger and then like to trim them to size. So this is if you were not needing to trim to size and you only needed to clip off the dog ears that occur from cutting that triangle. That'd be a good tool to use. So interesting, might try to use that one. The second thing is some ribbon from Cinnamon and Cream fabric line by Fig Tree. Available, there's 3 colorways. This is the green one that's shown here. 1.5 yards. So might be able to use that even if I just tie it up for a gift. So Cinnamon and Cream is the fabric line that I used. Actually, I'm going to talk about that quilt right there in just a few minutes. That's the fabric line that I used to make that test quilt. So some green ribbon there. And then also this time, I'm very excited to try this. They included triangles on a roll. I have never used triangle paper. I hear people talk about it all the time, and I have never tried it. So this is to make 2-inch finished half square triangles. So the directions say that you cut your fabric 6.5 inches wide, your desired length. You layer 2 fabrics right side together. You pin the paper onto the top. And then following the arrows, you sew on the dashed lines and then cut on the solid lines and tear the paper away. And then that's where you would then use, so if they're perfect, then you could use the dog ear tool to trim the edges of it. So I'm excited to try this. I hear lots of other quilters talking about it, and I have never done it myself, and I would like to try. They sell all different sizes of triangle paper. And like I said, this is the 2-inch size. They also included in the box some stickers. Well, it's washi tape, so it's it's able to be removed. But this is so for the different triangles on a roll that you might buy. You can use these stickers. They have all the different sizes, and you can use this washi tape, not stickers. You can use this washi tape then to keep your roll, because you won't use all of this at once. You'll use however many length that you need, and then to keep this together so that it doesn't roll all over your sewing room, get smashed or wadded, you can use this washi tape to keep your rolls closed. So all different sizes, and that's really nice because it includes all the different sizes on there, so you'll be able to tell which triangle paper you have even without opening it up. And they're all color coded for each of the different ones, and it even gives you the barcode number, what do you call that? The code number to know which triangle paper it would go with. You know what I'm talking about? The code that you could put into a website to be able to pull that up. So I am super excited to use this, and I'll let you know how it comes out. So fabric, a pattern, a cutting tool, and some ribbon this time. And then also always included in the box is a sew along. So it's the next square in a sew along, or next block in a sew along. And this year we're doing the Bliss quilt along. It's not actually per calendar year. It's they overlap it some. So I believe this is block number 8, and we're in December. So it started summer, mid-spring time. And so Fig Tree Quilts, Joanna Figaro has designed the quilt, and this is the next block in the series. So this block is going to look like this. And I am caught up. I have all 7 of the other blocks finished. So I thought I would bring those and show those to you so you can kind of see. There is a quilt kit that you can buy for this. The Bliss Quilt Along is what it's called. And you can actually go to Fat Quarter Shop and purchase the fabric that's needed. And you can purchase all of these afterwards if you're not a part of the box. I am using Fig Tree fabrics, even though they are not the actual fabrics for the Bliss Quilt Along. I had some Fig Tree fabrics in my stash, and so that's what I've been using. These blocks are not necessarily in order. I just wanted to show you the different ones. And a few of these faded because I had them out on the porch. I shouldn't have done that. I had them out on the porch for a while, hanging on an old wash basin that we have, and it was so cute, flapping in the wind, but it did fade them a tad bit. So that's one. And here's a second one. We don't know the setting instructions yet. That'll come at the end. So that's the second one. Lots of strings everywhere. Third one. This is a cute one. And fourth one. Love those yellow yellow squares in the corners. I like the yellow one there. This one has a lot of the half square triangles. I could have used some of the triangle paper for this one. Simple block, you know, just a big half square triangle in the middle and the framing the ones around the side. If your measurements are right, it's simple. If not, then sometimes your measurements can be off. I like this star one too. Radiating star there. And number 7. Yeah. Really cute. So those are the 7, and I'll be working on the 8th one here, so I can get those all together. So there'll be 12 total, and then we'll get the setting instructions. So if you want to get in on this quilt along, you'll need to order your own sew sampler box. They come once a month, and reasonable price. There's always good, exciting things that come in it. I always love seeing the new fabric lines. It is a good way to see the new fabric lines without having to purchase a bunch of them at first, see which ones you like, and some new tools. I've gotten tools that I now use on a regular basis, or ones that I got first in the box, so it's a fun thing. So another thing I wanted to show you. Recently, last month, in November, our quilt guild had a Christmas bazaar. So we all brought things that could be purchased for gifts, and I wanted to show you one of the things I picked up. And this happens to be one of my clients that I do long arm quilting for. Her husband has started doing scroll work now that he is retired and is home. And look at this beautiful wooden cutout that I got at the guild. She had brought several of these. This one actually sits on a table. They had others that were mounted on a piece of board so that you could hang them on the wall, but I wanted mine. Actually, mine's going to sit on this shelf right back here behind me. And the detail, if you can see that, the scissors, the thread sitting there, the thread on the top, and then just the scroll work inside there. Just very pretty. I really, really like this. So cute, and it matches. Oh, you can see over there. I've got an old sewing machine sitting on that desk right there. And so I'll set this up there next to it. Isn't that cute? I just really enjoyed that. I thought you might like it. And if you could see the details, so how they get this to look like the threads in there is that it's just barely cut into the sides of the wood, but then it makes it look like there's actually thread. And the thimble, see the little thimble with the holes in it there? Really cute. Really cute. Thought you might enjoy seeing that as well. All right, so let's get caught up on some of my projects that I showed you last week. I've been working on 2 fall projects that I have just about complete. First one was this pumpkin patch quilt that is from this book right here, County Seat Quilts. I really like this. Here's the finished quilt on the back. And mine is almost done. I have the middle part together. I just have a couple of borders that need to be added to to the back. So you can see, let me stand up here so you can see the whole thing. Move my chair out of the way. All right, so here's the whole quilt top. So I did all different color pumpkins. I think you saw last time I had them as blocks, and I showed you the blocks, but they're all together. So I have some white pumpkins, some gray, some dark red ones, brown, all different kinds. So that's the center of the quilt. There are 5-inch borders that go on all 4 sides, and then it'll be ready for the long arm. So I was hoping to get that done before Thanksgiving, and I didn't quite get that done there. So let me show you another project that I've been working on. This is let me hold it up first and then I'll sit down and show you. This is my test quilt for the Irish twist quilt. This is a new pattern that just came out 2 weeks ago. You can go to From Bolt to Beauty, and she has this in her Etsy shop. So let me hold it all the way up. So I chose Fig Tree Fabrics, and from Joanna Figaro. This is her, what did I just say, cinnamon and cream line, and then the solid colors, the brown and the orangey color there are Bella Solids that coordinated with it. Now I am almost finished. I was hoping last week I mentioned that I would like to finish this by Thanksgiving, and I didn't quite get it done. I'm still working on the binding, and so I put a brown binding around it that matched one of the solids in the quilt, and so I'm just about done with the binding. I have one full side and maybe another half. All right, so this is the way I do my binding. I'm always, almost always do I use 2.5-inch strips and fold those in half, and then stitch that to the front side, and then press it open. I use the binding tool from Fat Quarter Shop. It actually, I don't think it came in a box. I think I purchased it separately. But I use the binding tool to do a mitered joining the pieces together so that it's not that big clumpy. I used to just join them, overlap them and tuck one inside the other, and I realized how bulky that was, and since I've bought that binding tool and used that, so if you're interested in that, you might check that out as well. And then these handy little things, these Wonder Clips, they did come in one of my Sew Sampler boxes one time. I didn't think it was something that I really needed. I never before would actually clip my binding as I was working on it, but over the years you kind of do new things, and so I got a set of these binding clips in my Sew Sampler box several months ago. And actually now when I do my binding, I press it after I sew it to the front side, then I press that straight, and then I turn it over to the back side and fold that over, and I actually press that again, and then I use the Wonder Clips to hold that down, and then I hand stitch it all to the back. And I don't like seeing my my threads, so I try to hide them underneath. So I don't like using a whip stitch where you can kind of see the threads. I want mine all to be hidden behind there, so that's where I've gotten it done, and there I'm still working on it. So you can see the mum pantograph that I did on this quilt. Inspiration from that fabric right there, like we talked about last week. So I'm almost done. This should be done hopefully tonight. If I get some TV time, I'll be able to sit down and finish this tonight. So excited about that. And like I said, the quilt pattern itself is the Irish Twist quilt, and I was a pattern tester for Michelle Kane as she put that one together. So you can get that quilt pattern at From Bolt to Beauty is her Instagram, and on Etsy as well. All right, so let me show you some client quilts. They'll be going home today. The first one Judy made. Judy brought me this quilt, and I believe these are snowflakes that were made by her mother, if I remember correctly. And if not, I'll correct it in my Instagram post when I do this later. But she brought this to me, asked if I could long arm quilt over the applique because she was not going to be able to hand quilt it. And absolutely, it turns out really pretty. Actually, both quilts I'm going to show you today, one is embroidered and one is appliquéd, and both of those we can long arm quilt over the top of. So let me stand up and show you this one, and then I'll bring it in close. Very large quilt. This one is 77 by 90, so about a queen size quilt. So we just hold it up here so you can see the whole quilt first of all. So the appliquéd snowflakes are alternated with a checkerboard, blues and whites, very pretty, and then the back is mimics the snowflakes. I'll get that up close in just a minute. Let you see this. All right, let's bring this in so you can see up close what we did to this one. All right, so here's one of the appliquéd snowflakes. Each one, not each one is different, but there are several different designs. And so you can see that was appliquéd down. And then here's your checkerboard on the other one. And then I'll try to get in so you can see the pantograph that we used. So this is a new pantograph. This is called Snow Winds, and I actually purchased this on I can't remember if I did this on Black Friday or not. I did get a bunch of new pantographs over the weekend for a Black Friday sale, and I'll be sharing those soon. Really excited about all of those. So anyway, this is called Snow Winds, and it's got two different snowflakes. You can see one there and one there, and then swirls. Yeah, I think you can see that. There we go. So really nice. We did, I did a white thread, but it still kind of blends in. So there's one of the appliques. Here's another one. Very nice work. And then the back. So very cute, really nice. So I know Judy's excited to be getting this back. This will be going back this afternoon. And I know she's excited to get that one back. And then Judy will be doing the binding on that one. Very nice. Perfect timing, just in time for winter and the snow that'll be coming. Not this week. Today I think it's like 50 degrees outside, but before long it'll be here. All right, the second quilt that I have to share today is from Kathy, and this is a large quilt also. This is an 86 by 107, and as I mentioned, this one is embroidered, hand embroidered with birds and flowers. So let me hold this up. Probably just get half of this quilt in here. So Kathy's family, very prolific in their embroidery. I know her sister has done some, her mom did some when she was alive, and Kathy has finished up some of those for her mom, and then Kathy does this as well. So beautiful handwork, and then she makes these into the quilts. So this has 1, 2, 3, 4. So 12 blocks that are all the same with the birds, and then she has the skinny border. I really like this. The skinny border matches the larger border outside, so it gives it almost like a window type effect. So you have the sashing, and then a skinny border, and then the pink border, and then the large outer border. Yeah, isn't that pretty? All right, getting close so you can see her work. All hand embroidered. Very nice. And then the pantograph that I chose is called Saffron Blossom. This is actually the same pantograph that I used last week on that Bargello twist quilt, if you remember that one. And different feel on this one, but it goes so well. I just thought it was a nice addition to the birds. I used an off-white thread on this one that blended in with the white. And then the backing, actually, Kathy was the winner of the wide quilt backing giveaway that I did earlier in the fall. And so this is the quilt, the backing fabric that she won through that giveaway. So perfect choice for this quilt. So Saffron Blossom. Very nice. Very nice, Kathy. Beautiful work. I have another quilt that I was going to show today, but it's not going to go home today. We weren't able to make arrangements to get together, so I'll save that one and show it next week because I don't think it's going home till next week. And the wedding quilt that I've been working on, that is on the long arm right now. I was hoping to get that done to show you today, but it didn't quite get finished. And I'm excited for you to see that. Like I said, I did some Black Friday shopping, and I got some new pantographs, several that I got. Some Christmas ones, some poinsettias, some things for Christmas, but also just some overall designs that will be able to be used all year long. I'll be sharing those. I think I'll stitch those up onto some 12 by 12 sample quilts and so that I can show those to you up close and you'll be able to see those. Those are exciting. And I also did a little Black Friday shopping at Martingale? Yes, Martingale was doing 50% off all their books. So I got several new books that I'm looking forward to looking through as well and hopefully starting some projects. So that's all I have to share with you today. I hope you enjoyed our time together. If you have a quilt that needs to be long arm quilted, you can go to my website, tammyernestquilting.com, and you can find the prepping instructions and the order form there. If you're local, you can give me a call and we'll get together about setting up a time to get that quilt. And if you are not local, there are instructions there for how you can mail your quilt to me, and I'll be excited to see what you're working on. I hope you're enjoying this new channel. This is an adventure for me. I'm learning, and I hope you'll stick with me and let me know what you would like to see. I like to share my projects and also the client quilts, but if there's tutorials or product reviews or behind the scenes in my sewing room, just let me know. What would you like to see here on my channel? I hope you, when you join, you're able just to sit back and sew for a little bit and just get some inspiration from other quilters and what they're working on. Maybe some ideas of how you'd like to finish your quilts, have them long-armed. So if you're enjoying this, I would ask that, if possible, if you could like the video and subscribe to my channel, I would sure appreciate it. And hope you have a wonderful week and a great start to your Christmas holiday, and we will see you next week.